Blue Raiders win by a score of 42-17. Coach, it wasn't a pretty game by any stretch, but I know the score is pretty. Did the weather at all affect you guys? I know you took the ball, which is kind of a little bit off what you normally do. Was that intentional to try to get your offense jump started?
Yeah, well, we felt like there was a chance of rain, so it was dry at kickoff, so it was pretty simple for us. Let's take the ball now. If it rains later, we have an extra possession when it's dry. So it was just as simple as that. I like to defer. That's my typical strategy, but it just that was what we did. Unfortunately, offensively, we didn't do anything with it. No, I don't think the weather played a factor, at least for us. We have to come out and play better offensive football to start the game. And I think the final numbers, I haven't seen them yet, but the final numbers probably aren't going to be too bad, aside from a couple turnovers. But we didn't start well. The first quarter was ugly. The first couple of drives were ugly on offense. So, we showed what we were capable of doing late in the game, but we've got to do a better job of coming out and playing well out of the kickoff.
You had a bye week last week. Did that have anything to do with the slow start? Just the fact that you've been off a week?
Yeah, if we weren't progressing and playing physically, maybe I would think that, but it was really mental. It was really focused. And to me, we had an extra day or so that we worked on Union. We worked certainly on some things with us from a technical standpoint during the bye week. So no, I don't think that was part of it. I wish I could put my thumb on it and tell you exactly what it is, but we've got to get it fixed. So the good news is, we're 4-0. We're ranked number 1 for whatever that's worth, or whatever. We're going to be right next Monday. We are in a position that's really nice. A lot of people would like to be here, but we're not playing our best football yet.
298 rushing yards. Coming in, you felt like you could run the ball, and your guys really did a good job. Especially, I thought your backs were very patient tonight, letting the holes open up, and then once they were there, you really hit them.
Yeah, we had some big runs in our O-line. Thought did a nice job. We said on the first drive, we kind of blew a basic run scheme on play 2, which just got the wrong call on one of the O-linemen, and it set us back behind the chains. And then we had a couple fumbles, but those were the receiver spots. And outside of those things, I thought our running backs and O-line, tight ends played a pretty good game.
Beasley finished 12 of 29 with a touchdown and interception. The interception is a tip ball, and it could happen. But he had several of his receivers tonight that the ball hit him in the hands, hit him right in the chest, and it wasn't as bad as the numbers indicated. Yeah, I thought Dylan played a pretty good game. I mean, there were a couple things we'd like to have back, and there was one sack that he took in the red zone when we ended up coming back and throwing a touchdown the next play. It wasn't a great sack. We should have got rid of the football and moved on to play the next down. But I thought, at first glance, I thought Dylan played fine. We had at least 3 or 4 drops. As you referenced, the interception was a tipped ball right in the receiver's hands, and he was kind of face mask level. So I thought Dylan played pretty well with the conditions, and it was wet. I don't think it affected the way he threw the ball a whole lot. And Union played too high safeties a whole lot. They tried to take away the big plays and take away those playmakers, and that kind of contributed to us running for almost 300 yards. And hats off to our guys for taking advantage of what was there. Your defense tonight, I thought, played lights out for probably the last drive that Union had. I'm sure that's not something that'll make you and Coach Gutt happy, but for the most part, after falling behind 10-0, they didn't let Union do anything, and they kept Whittlesey. He actually had negative yardage running. I got to think coming into the game, you take that in a heartbeat. Yeah, absolutely, and even the 10 points that we gave up, they weren't put in a good spot by the offense. So, it's a team game, and we've got to play better team football, but I thought our defense overall played well, with the exception of those last 6 minutes or 5 minutes. We subbed some guys in, and it didn't come down to talent of those guys. They just weren't running around and pursuing and tackling the way that those other guys were. So, like I said, we're not playing our best football yet. We've got a ways to go, but we went 1-0 this week. I talked about it, during the game that there were certain aspects of the game that was just unfamiliar. We're not used to seeing that out of Lindsey Wilson football, and the penalties were one of them tonight. Were they overamped in the game? Was it? I know some of them were personal foul penalties, and that's completely uncharacteristic of your team. Yeah, I mean, there was one late hit on the quarterback, and
And we'll have to watch it on video to see exactly how late it was. But when the quarterback's a running threat, he hands the ball off, and we have a quarterback player. Sometimes those things are going to happen. Now we'll have to watch a video to see exactly how late it was, and obviously the refs thought that it was too late, so we've got to get that fixed. There were some other things. There was a couple of horse collars. One was on a kickoff where it was an offensive player who came across and made the tackle, and it was a good tackle to get him down. Not that we want to do it in that fashion. But those things are going to happen. So I thought outside of the personal foul and the late hit and one of the others, the other ones were within the scope of the game. Not real clean. We got to get better.
Alec Cooks was special on special teams tonight. Had that punt return for a touchdown. Had another big punt return. But I thought for the most part, I thought your special teams helped win the game tonight, because I thought your kickoff return was excellent. Coverage was excellent tonight.
Yeah.
Didn't really give Union a great deal of. They had starting positions, behind the 25-yard line all night.
Yeah, kickoff was a big step in the right direction, and we didn't give up the big one. We had a few other opportunities to get them inside, a little bit further down in their territory that we would have liked to have, but overall I thought it was a step in the right direction. Our kickoff return, they don't kick the ball deep. It's sort of like Bluefield a couple weeks ago. They're not going to kick it deep a whole lot, but I thought we fielded, we executed our scheme, and we were still able to get some good field position, which is tough to do off a short kick sometimes as far as gaining yardage on the return. So I thought overall that was really good, and then punt return was good, and we gave Allen some room, and if you give him a little bit of room at the start of the return, then big things can happen.
Coach, talk about a little bit how important it is in a game like this to get your guys like DeAndre Tigg and Javen Jones and people like that some reps. It's important to keep them in the game into the season, because you never know when you might have to call them.
Yeah, it's important both ways, because those guys, they practice hard, them and others, and they practice hard. We want to give them the opportunity to play, but at the same time, the guys who have taken the bulk of the reps, Josh and Corey and Jalen, those guys are getting banged up, and it's something where you want to get those guys off the field if you can. I thought Javen ran the ball really well tonight on that drive. I think we had one pass play to start the drive, and everything else was a run, I believe, on that last touchdown drive. And I thought Javen and the O-line and tight ends did a great job.
Coach, last question. We don't see this very often, but you won the time of possession battle. Most irrelevant stat in football, but you won it tonight.
Yeah, I don't put a lot of merit in that statistic a whole lot. And it's a product of playing well on first down, converting third downs. But yeah, I thought that was nice. It was nice when you run for 298.
Yeah, I lied. I'm going to ask you one more. You bring up a great point. You weren't behind the sticks very much tonight. You did a good job on the first down.
Yeah, in the first quarter we were behind the sticks. The rest of the game we weren't, and that was the difference in why we were scoring points and getting some drives going. And when you're playing in 2nd and 8 and 2nd and 10, you're not gonna move the chains a whole lot. To get forward to put yourself in a good third down spot. When you're gaining 5 yards on first down, like we were in most of the second, third, fourth quarter, then you're in a good spot. So it's all a product of starting well on first down.
Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Chris.
That's LWC.